Hey Zach, Henry looks great in the costume. Removing the red panties was an excellent idea. Hey, you okay? I can't figure out how to keep the audience's attention in a Superman movie. Well, that's easy. Why don't you just have him save the city, showcase his abilities and his quick thinking?
That's boring and nobody likes it!
Oh, you can have him save just a single person with touching dialogue showcasing how Superman inspires hope and he heals hearts. He doesn't always need his super strength.
You think this is a game? The entire DCEU depends on this. You better start giving me some answers, boy, or I'm gonna mess you up.
You can just shove Lois into scenes and force her into situations she has no business being in. Why is Lois Lane there? I think about that every single time I see this movie. I thought of it the first time I saw it in theaters. I think about it now when I watch little clips on YouTube. It's just so bizarre. It literally feels like they just couldn't think of anything and just shoved her in the situations without actually processing any sort of information. As much as I love Man of Steel, and trust me, I love Man of Steel, and Superman is my favorite superhero of all time, by the way. I grew up watching Smallville, dude, Tom Welling, awesome. Michael Rosenbaum, the best Lex Luthor ever, but Man of Steel got some problems, man, and my big thing is Lois Lane. Why is she in these scenes? It doesn't make any sense to me. Oh my gosh, look at this. The colonel or the general or whatever clearly says it gets below negative 40 degrees at nighttime.
It's just up to minus 40 at night around here. Couldn't find your body till after spring.
Look at Lois out here. What is she doing? She's not geared up for this. Like, straight up, dude. Like, she's freezing. Get out of here with that. That's ugh. I'm not a camera connoisseur over here, but there's no way she's taking clear enough pictures with that little lighting at nighttime and being able to see Clark and like walking from that distance. There's just no way. That is wild. And then she proceeds to follow him in the dark, in the ice, in the negative 40 degree weather without proper equipment. And she's just scaling this icy mountain like she's freaking half elf or something. She's half Legolas. Like, what's going on here? Oh my goodness. This entire scene that plays out, yeah, is it cool? Like, oh, she gets hurt or whatever, and then Superman uses his laser vision to like freaking cauterize the wound and stuff. Yeah, that was interesting, that itself. But like, it's the way it all happened. Like, why is she here? There's no purpose for her to be on this ship. This is a Clark moment. The movie is called Man of Steel. Let it be Man of Steel. I just don't understand why she's here. It just blows my mind. But anyways, that's one little scene. So at the end of the movie, she's staring into the sky at what looks like falling meteors, and she is able to perceive from that distance that it's Clark up there, that it's Superman. Like, dude, what's up with this woman's eyesight, man? She's superhuman, I'm telling you.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
The Uruk's turn northeast.
But anyways, look at the distance here. Not only is she very far away from where they're landing, from where she's at, there's no possible way for her to find out exactly what building they landed into. And then the whole city is destroyed. There is so much debris and just buildings crumbling. She's not just like, walking down the street like, oh man, I'm gonna be there soon, Clark. She got her little bicycle. Like, no, that's not happening. The amount of shit that she would have to climb over, and there's just no way. So anyways, Clark ends up snapping Zod's neck, which, by the way, I have no problem with. As far as, people are really upset about that. I don't have a problem with it. I thought he had no choice. I think they set up a situation where he really didn't have a choice, and I liked that moment. But anywho, neither here nor there. Lois comes here. Like, Lois is here. How did she get there that quick? How in the heck Did she know exactly what building they were in? Like, there's just no way. Why is she here? This should have just been, honestly, a solitude moment of Clark feeling the weight of his actions in killing a man with his bare hands. Like, that should have just been him, and the camera just fades to black. Like, bam. Like, why is Lois here? They just keep shoving her in, and this problem didn't stop here. They do it in Batman versus Superman as well. Like, I just have no idea why Lois is here when he's fighting freaking Doomsday with Wonder Woman and Batman. Like, why are you here? And while I'm on it, I don't even understand why Clark is so upset over killing this man. I mean, he's kind of used to that. He may not have caused the tornado, but he sure as heck killed his dad. I don't care what nobody says on that. It reminds me of a line from Civil War. Peter Parker says this.
Look, when you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
And that's how I feel about this scene. Like, dude, you have the power. He's so fast. Like, he could have just easily ran over there, grabbed his dad, took him to safety, and just disappeared. Like, just got away. He didn't have to bring him back to the bridge. Dude, there's a giant tornado just destroying everything. Everyone's scared. They're panicky. They're in shock. Their adrenaline's pumping. No one's gonna notice Clark running at super speed, grabbing Jonathan Kent, and then leaving the scene. Like, no one's gonna see that. Like, oh, you might give him whiplash. Nah, man. I've seen X-Men.
What are you doing?
I'm holding your neck so you don't get whiplash.
Whiplash.
I've seen X-Men, man. You can't get me with that.
I let my father die.
You sure fucking did. That was a foolish scene, but that's not what this video is about. Let's get back to the topic. And this is the big scene. This is what blows my mind. Dude. Okay, so Superman surrenders to the government, and he says, I want to talk to Lois Lane.
What is it you want?
I would like to speak to Lois Lane.
Okay, well, I don't really understand why, because when they start talking, Lois isn't asking any questions that matter.
You let them handcuff you?
So, I feel like they only put her in there just for her to have the silly Superman joke that gets cut off by the microphone.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about...
Sir?
Hi.
I think that's the entire reason why they put that there, because the main meat of that scene is him talking to the doctor or the general or whatever. Like, that's the whole point of the scene. Why is Lois here? Like, what? There's no purpose of her being in this scene. Like, oh, because he says, oh, I want to guarantee Lois's safety. I'll come with you if you guarantee her safety.
I'll surrender, but only if you guarantee Lois's freedom.
Okay, well, that's one thing. Okay, I will surrender to you if Lois is safe, and I will talk with you guys. No problem. You can put these useless handcuffs on me. That's okay, but why are you sitting down and talking to her? You just wanted to chit-chat? Like, there's no purpose. So anyways, then we have this bizarre cut, man. Looks like they're about to get married. They're at the altar or something. It's just a weird cut. Every time I see it, I just think it's just weird. So anyways, Faora comes down. She walks past Superman. She's like, hey, General Zod requests this woman's presence on the ship as well. I'm like, why? Why? But before we get to why, dude, every time I see this, I laugh. I've never heard anybody talking about this ever. This is the most bizarre scene, like moment in a scene ever. So she says, would you like me to tell the general that you are unwilling to comply? And he goes, I don't care what you tell him. And there's this just like weird pause and hold, and it's just silent.
Shall I tell the general you're unwilling to comply?
I don't care what you tell him.
It's like, it makes me laugh because it sounds like they wrote it in a sense like, oh man, this general dude is like badass, man. He ain't taking nothing from nobody. man, he's standing up to a Kryptonian, man. He's awesome. But like what he said just sounds like it came out of a 4-year-old's mouth. Like somebody's like, I'm gonna tell on you, and he's like, no, I don't care if you tell on me. It's like, dude, it's I don't care
what you tell him.
That's hilarious. And then why do they have that long pause? I don't know. I don't care what you tell him. Cut. Are we cutting? Cut. Anywho, let's get back to Lois. I keep getting off track here, man. So General Zod apparently wanted her on the ship. He requested her. But why? Because we get onto the ship and he doesn't even say anything to her. Like, he doesn't even introduce himself to her. He talks directly to Clark.
Kal-El, you have no idea how long we've been searching for you.
She doesn't even go here.
And like the only time they talk is when Clark falls to the floor coughing up blood because he's not used to the Kryptonian atmosphere. And she's like, what's happening to him? Help him, help him. And he's like, no, I can't. Whatever's happening to him must take its course. That's literally all they say to each other. And then it goes into some bizarre dream sequence. And then Superman wakes up chained to a bed.
If at any time the ecstasy gets too great, you just use the safe word.
What is that? There's no reason for Lois to be here. Like, why did General Zod request her presence? We did not see any of that. Now, you might be like, oh, well, there is a reason why she is on the ship. This is a writing problem. I feel they just didn't know how to get Superman out of a situation where he doesn't have his powers and he's outnumbered. So they were like, well, we just got to get Lois on there, and then he'll give her the key, and then she'll put the key in, and then Jor-El will help out. That's what it is. That's all it is. But that's silly, lazy writing. Because Zod is the one that asked her to get onto the ship. It would have been different if maybe like Superman requested it and he was like, hey, look, here's this key just in case anything goes wrong, put it in there. But even then, like, why would Superman purposely put Lois in danger? Like, the whole thing doesn't make sense to me. Like, the way that it could have went down is Superman just goes alone. So now, mind you, this is just off the top of my head. This would still need some refining, and it's not perfect, but I'm just saying there's no point of Lois being there. Superman should have went by himself. There is no request by General Zod to bring Lois. He gets on the ship, and as he's walking by one of the terminals, he discreetly pushes in Jor-El's little chip thingy. Boop! And now everything plays out as normal. We get the bizarre dream sequence. He wakes up chained to the bed. Zod leaves as normal. Jor-El helps him out. He changes the atmosphere. There's no Lois Lane. So it can play out the same way. Jor-El's like, strike that panel, boy. Bam! We see the Earth. And then Jor-El's like, Zod went to go get the codex. He's searching for the ship. Where is the ship? It's on the farm. So then Superman turns and looks at the Earth, and instead of saying Lois, he says Mom. Which I think would have been really nice at that moment because, like, his dad's there, and, I know Superman was a baby, but, his birth mother died. There's nothing he could have done about that. There's nothing Jor-El could have done. Like, Jor-El couldn't save her either. It's like, so like him saying Mom, I think would have just been really nice right there, as opposed to Lois, some woman Jor-El just met and it has no idea who the heck this is, really. Anywho, Jor-El says, you can save her, Cal. You can save all of them. Boom, it's the same scene plays out, and then he goes, boom, and he flies off, and instead of having that ridiculous saving her from the escape pod scene for no reason, because she shouldn't be on the ship in the first place, we cut to the farm. Zod's throwing his little tantrum, and boom, bam, choo, Superman comes in. You think you can threaten my mother? Boom. Dude, and it all plays out, and then he goes off and he just kills a bunch of citizens, throwing people in the gas stations and stuff, but it is what it is, man. Yeah. But anyways, that's my whole thing with, like, Lois, man. Like, Lois blows my mind. Every time I think about Man of Steel, or I rewatch it or something, it's just, those are, like, the glaring issues. And mind you, I'm just walking around in my garage with my speaker out. I'm just spitting this. I didn't write any of this, so sorry about the way I'm talking. But like, these are the issues, and I really hope that this new Superman legacy does not carry this over. Like, oh my goodness, like, Lois Lane is a huge part of Superman, obviously, but you don't have to shove her into these situations that she has no business being in. Oh my goodness. Anywho, I love Man of Steel. Don't you sit there and think that I hate Man of Steel. I actually really enjoy Man of Steel. It was the height of the DCEU for me. It's like, it's the best movie in out of all of them. But, man, they just need to, fix those, smooth out some of those rough edges. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, that's it for me. If you liked what you heard, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace out.
Well, you better start giving me some answers, boy. I'm gonna... Well, you better start giving...